All right, we back. We back. Like I said, it's another motherfucking story time. All right, we going in, man. We are going in. Let's see. What music we got. So yeah, everybody come back in. I'm sorry I had to cut it off, but it's another motherfucking story time. We talking serpents, reptilians, nagas, some shit.
Dollars of your interest. That's not right.
Where was the weed?
Look for the best online bet of 2018. Ally.
What's up? What's up? Everybody share the video. Share the video. We about to go in. Sorry I had to cut it off, but we going in right now.
Today's agenda, a nation exterminating the bias. Pray that you never die, don't dare to be deemed the highest. I write
Righteous my liars, righteous is my suppliers.
They wonder what my supply is. Nigga, where the beat? Fuck a feature, my ether is equal to each of your own. Embody the balance of the world on my shoulders alone. But God bless America, my G's go hard. G's make dreams and
talk about serpents and nagas.
I am so compelled, might as well proceed another step. Never took a L, still fresh without the double X. Handsome, ransom, artificial anthems. Ladies say handsome, these niggas throwing tantrums. Tripping to existence is often labeled as mystery. It's cause we position it different. We're hard to make sense of it. Record labels making sense. We sensitive, now we acting senseless. Fuck you, architect president. I'm on my free time.
We've been in and out of portal shit. Y'all ready?
Shit, I'm on my evil ledger. I can't get my mind in order shit. Hit lied about mitzvah, torturous, sort of shit. I ain't really that nigga. Call it quits, get off my dick, give a camera the finger. Every
I say, Sarah, Sarah.
And I am the glick. Do you hear this shit? Like a rapper turd, I swing on the track and stir my rhyme schemes and my bars will finish. I hear you shit and get a little knock and let the guy hit the kind of ball. I was out calling the store and getting some pimples that remind me of Lord. London Thursday, Sunday I'm New York. Brooklyn be the birthplace, Kings County caucus, cut the malarkey. You don't want no problems or drama when zombies get off me. Some may say, seeing them like seeing God. I see you all your transparency, hope I see you beside. Die, erasing God like the veins of them hounds playing poker. I'm Caesar Milan in the background taking notes. Poker, smoke up, holes on my totem. Not an idle niggas always higher on the totem. I go son, haters like hoes. They just wanna blow us. With them calicoes, bullet holes in my whole team. Supreme, stay clean, lyrical dreams.
So
We be that, we at, we the melody at. On since I was born, such a thing as relapse. My team, supreme, stay clean, lyrical dreams, I'm the machine.
We be that. Hello. It's relapse. If you like it, share the video. We're going in, y'all. So we're gonna talk about reptilian, serpents, nagas, how I got into this shit, right? So it's another motherfucking story time. All right. So I guess it's like 3 years ago, right? And I started. I got deeper into what I was into. Hold on, y'all. I got deeper into what I was into. But I had met these friends, right? So I met this one dude. Fuck it, we just gonna tell it. So I come from staying at my grandmother's house in another city. So I end up getting this job at this place, right? And thank you. So I end up getting this job at this place. So if you're in Sacramento, y'all know this place. This place is ACT. So it's called ACT, Advanced Call Center Technologies. So previously I had worked at this other place, right? And when I was at this other place, we seen this new dude, right? And he was look pale as shit. Like pale as shit, bro. Like I can tell the story because me and this nigga not friends no more. And he's pretty much like hates me for the rest of my life. So I'm gonna tell y'all this shit. This shit crazy. This is just part one. I can only tell y'all so much. And I'm gonna try to get to the part where I actually go inside the Shamballah and shit and went inside like Reptilianville and yeah, so Nagaville. So we there was this dude, right? He had long hair, whatever. He looked dorky. He looked pale. He looked skinny, and something was just off about his energy. Right? Didn't pay this attention to. I knew the dude's name. We actually ended up working next to each other. Damn near, we used to go count shit. Right? We were counters for this one group, this one company. But I didn't even really remember him or nothing. Like we were driving through the mountains and shit. We almost died because the driver would fall asleep because we was going hard, bro. The driver would fall asleep at the wheel doing full turns on mountains. So I'm sitting there in the front like, wake up, motherfucker. Wake the fuck up. You about to kill us all. So I'm like, I didn't even know he was in that situations with me. So I get this interview here, whoop-de-whoop. We sitting there, right? There's a white dude. Pale white dude. We're sitting there, right? It's some reptilian shit, right? Sitting there and I'm looking at him and his eyes are going like this. Like they're going. I could do it, but I don't want to freak y'all out. So I don't want to do it. It's like I don't know if y'all saw that, but his eyes just go like they were rattled, nigga. And they had slits in his eyes. So I'm sitting there, right, and I'm just got from learning about some shit, right? Remember, I had previously told y'all that I was meditating in my room at my grandmother's house. This is how all this shit streamlined and happened. I was sitting in my grandma's house meditating, and I just got into the state, this trance, boom, and I'm just shifting through lifetimes. And then I guess my third eye woke up. My third eye has always been open, but I guess I started seeing into other realities and shit like this, right? So this thing is sitting next to me, and this is before I found out I was Lord Inky. So I'm sitting there, and this hooded serpent creature is in my room going like this, and he's just big ass buff fucking, but his head was a snake. His head was a snake though. It was weird, and he had on this thing and his head was like a snake, and he's just yelling this shit at me. And first it was in this weird language, blah, 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 whispers and shit. I later found out this was a nahas or a nakash, a whisperer, right? So he's standing in the corner, and then he starts speaking louder, and I started translating like I knew what he was saying in these other languages, right? So this shit is crazy. I swear it might not sound real, but this shit really happens, right? I think Dream is here. So this shit really happens. Let me create a space for my baby. Yeah. Trust me, my wife met this person. We're talking about vampires and a story time. We're not gonna disclose the person's name, you know what I'm saying? But we're just having an open discussion. So Dream is here. You gotta go say hi.
Hi guys. Sorry, I'm not feeling good.
She's not feeling too well, so she might not even really talk. I don't know if you want to share your experience with people that can do these different things. No.
I can put it in a little bit.
A little bit.
I just don't want to use too much of my voice.
Okay. Do you want to tell about the happening in the head and the weird language that we was going through? It's up to her. But I'm gonna tell y'all this shit. Ooh, I really want to smoke cigarettes first. So let me tell y'all this shit. So. Sitting in the fucking room, right? And this thing is just speaking to me these weird languages, right? As I shift, I guess I didn't know what I was doing then, but I was shifting, right? So I'm shifting into different forms. And I see that different lifetimes. Okay, cool. I see different lifetimes passing and stuff, and he's just yelling out shit. First he was he whispered something, and I later found out what it was, but he was like something, and I'm just like, what the fuck? And I'm just sitting there meditating, going through lifetime after lifetime, and then he says something hella loud, and as soon as I reached my highest state, I was like, boom, and I was just like this crazy looking creature thingy. He screamed out, Magi, like in a whisper though, like you could feel it, and he turned around, right, and ran the fuck out the room. So I'm like, what the fuck was that? I opened my eyes. I'm like, whoa, what the fuck? Am I going crazy? You know what I'm saying? What the fuck was that? But I've seen creatures and stuff like that, but this is about reptilian, right? So I end up, like I said, fast forward, getting a job. This dude is sitting there. His eyes is fucking shifting and shit, right? And my spirit immediately kicked in. My higher self immediately kicked in because sometimes your higher self just takes over. It's like, you know, it's another you, but a higher form. So another consciousness, a higher consciousness kicked in. And I'm like, and I had been researching reptilians and shit for a while. So I'm just like, this nigga is a reptilian. Like, I can see this nigga's, like, his fucking pupils, his slits, right? And everything about him was, like, reptile-ish, right? So I'm just sitting there like, this nigga's a reptilian. So my energy flexing up. You can feel him kind of going down like, oh, shit. He knows. You can hear his mind. Like, he knows what I am. Like, oh, shit. Right? So usually the whole time, everyone is getting interviews by themselves. Why the fuck I get my interview? You're supposed to be one-on-one. We got interviewed at the same exact time. The same exact time. So here I'm sitting with this fucking reptile that looks kind of human. Like, he was pale white. But he just had, his eyes was just all fucked up. Nobody with a normal eye would be able to catch his eyes, really. So, here. So not only that, we get hired at the same exact time. So we get hired at the same exact time, and give me a second, y'all. Because like I said, I'm nervous telling this story because I know this person, right? So we were friends. We ended up becoming friends. So I got on my necklace or whatever. We're sitting in the training room. Instantly, me and him find out, hey, we worked at the same fucking place. We already knew each other. We instantly clicked. So he started talking to me about meditations and crystals and stuff like this and shit like that. And I'm like, okay, this nigga is cool. Like, all right, you know what I'm saying? Right? We cut off to the side. Like, we go out, go to lunch together and shit. Like, all right, let's go get something to eat, bro. Like, we talking this shit. So I'm tapping in. I start tapping in. Boom, 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 boom. He started telling me some shit. Like, I'm like, okay, what? He was like, yeah, I was a part of this council and this and this and this and these dragons and something like that, right? That's what my fault. Might give me some water.
Just give me a second.
Okay. BBC. So I was just like, all right, I'm not really tripping, you know what I'm saying? Start giving them downloads and shit like that, telling them about himself and stuff. We clicked. So I tell him just straight up, I know who you are. I know what you are. You're a reptilian. And he looked like, how the fuck do you know that, right? So that cut, right? I'm walking fucking, it's like pitch dark at a fucking park that I'm at. And I'm just sitting there at this park, right? And I get a phone call. And I have not told nobody this. I haven't even told my wife this shit. I get a phone call, and it's him. To be honest, I don't even remember how the fuck he got my number. Because we was just talking. Like, I don't even remember how he got my number. He just told me he lived by the military base where we worked at was like a military base. And there's this thing about where we live about underground tunnels. And I found this further on to be confirmed about reptilians living in these tunnels. But that's a later story. So pretty much me and him being friends. I'm at this park. It's hella late at night. And I'm just chilling, walking through the park because I like to do park walks. I like to go, help the spirits of the park so more people be there, and more children be safe there. So I get the call and he's like, yeah, did you tell anybody about me, like what I am and this and this and this? And I'm scared, nigga. Like, first of all, how the fuck you get my number? Second of all, like, I ain't told nobody. And he's like making me swear that I don't tell nobody what he is. He ended up being more open about it as we went along. But he's like, yeah, like, and I'm like, I know what y'all are, what y'all do, and this and this and this and shit like that. So we end up, after that little weird conversation happened, we end up going back to being friends. Thank you so much. Sorry, I gotta need some water. So I'm kind of struggling. So we end up becoming friends. We end up going to this crystal shop that my girl's mom ended up telling me about before this, and I never ended up going there. Go looking for a rare stone called moldavite. This is said to be a piece of Lucifer's crown, but as I started researching it, it turned out that it was a piece of a spaceship that fell, right? I later found out that this nigga might have came from this spaceship or some shit. I don't know. It's all speculation at that. But some things I could confirm about this nigga because he told me himself. So I found out that his dad that he was staying with was not really his dad, right? It was some dude had just, pretty much banged his mom, got her pregnant, and dipped. So there's a secret about these reptilians in our city about these underground tunnels and shit, right? And the story is that they would go up to mate with women and shapeshift, and that's how he came about. And he was a hybrid. You can see his DNA, his all types of shit. Like, he was able to disguise it very well, but he'd get sick. He couldn't be in the sunlight too much. Like, the nigga was a vampire pretty much, but he was a hybrid. Crazy shit. He ended up telling me that he was a hybrid and spaceships, all kinds of shit like that. And he said he served in the military as a nuclear physicist. So he's like, yeah, I served in the military as a nuclear physicist. I have this level clearance. And I'm like, if you got that level clearance, nigga, I study conspiracy. I'm like, nigga, if you got that level clearance, then you know some shit. And he's just like, yeah, just don't worry about it. I can't talk about it. So I'm like, okay, nigga, I know this is some shit. So get that call shit. We gonna get this Moldavite shit. Thank you so much. So we go get the Moldavite. I get some crystals and stuff like that. In the process, we meet up with some friends, some of his friends. We end up clicking. Next thing you know, I'm like, another me takes over. So in the process, he's telling me, reading me, and we reading each other. We're teaching each other shit. We cool. I gave credit to his brother. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I still wish we were friends, but we're not, unfortunately. But I was even homeless, and he slept with me on the side of the street to make sure I was safe because I was so tired. I had worked hella long. I had nowhere to stay, and I just was like, fuck it, I'm gonna sleep right here at this Walmart, in front of this Walmart, bro. Can you just watch me while I sleep? You know what I'm saying? Make sure nobody steal nothing from me. And he did. That was my nigga. So, what else happened? So we got deeper and deeper and deeper, started finding out more and more shit, right? We take we all meet up, we all get cool, right? We all start doing like a thing called Path Life. So we all meet up and stuff, and then I meet my brother. In the process of this, I meet Enlightened Israel Will. So y'all go at him. Enlightened Israel Will is dope. That's in Lil. So in the process of that, I meet him. Me and him start getting down low. We start talking about Anunnaki shit. Like, hey, bro, you whoop, this. I started finding images of him throughout history, like sculptures that look dead on like him. So I'm like, hey, bro, what the hell? Like, you know what I'm saying? We'd have conversations just back and forth, right? We end up getting acquainted. And he's like, yeah, I got the line on, the sacraments. So he's like, I got the line on the sacraments, whatever. The reptilian bruh was like, yeah, I need that, because we was all planning on it, because we all started talking more and more about it. Like, I started finding out hella shit. Like, it was hella witches that worked there and shit. And I'd be like, hey, you got a witch's aura. She's like, oh shit, you see me. You know what I'm saying? They break out the matrix. And so she's like, oh, you see me. And one witch told me that about the Negromancy, how black magic came from them black people and stuff like that. And another girl told me that real witch families never write down their spells. They never write down shit. So so right, we end up getting a hold of it. Everything goes smooth, right? We end up downtown, right? Worstest fucking place to trip at. Worstest place to do a fucking shamanic journey or whatever, right? Guess they was thinking we was just gonna have fun. Me and Isra is like, bro, we came here to tap in. So the whole time, right, me and him driving there, they already there. They already fucked up, right? We gotta go get my god brother. Because me and my god brother started, like, it was a whole awakening among us. So we're at the store or whatever. And he was always telling me about this vision he had about this dude being on the ground in like some Solomon seal type shit. And he was asking the dude, "Do you forgive yourself?" And I can always bring him on to he can do his part of the story about himself too, because he does tarot cards and stuff. He's just training and doing his thing right now. He doesn't really have much time, but I'll bring him on again. Y'all seen me in his videos. So pretty much he's telling me the story about this dude that he pretty much was like judging, I guess. And he's like, "Do you forgive yourself?" to the dude. And that was as far as he went. So he's telling me, he's like, "Yeah, man." Ooh, ooh, ooh. I tap in. I was like, "Hey, don't worry. You'll meet him tonight." Not even knowing what the fuck I'm saying. So we get there. We pick up my bro. We get there. I take mines. They take theirs. The whole time, these niggas is spiritually battling. Like, as the moment they met, nigga, they were banging heads, like just mind at each other, like, "No, you're wrong." And he's just sitting there like, "Nah, man, I'm just trying to teach you," because he had a lot more experience. And my brother was younger. My god brother was younger, so he had an ego issue, and he's trying to teach him, and he's trying to teach him. He's having an ego issue. It's just going back and forth. I'm like, "Bro, I'm just trying to have a good time." So we get there. I see my friend. I'm like, "Man, I don't know." So we get there, take it. Next thing you know, right, shit start kicking in. It start getting wavy, right? I'm just sitting there like, whoa. Stomach start hurting and shit. I'm like, oh shit. Oh man. Right? So I start hearing this tinking noise, right? Tinking, 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 tinking. And all reality just dissolved. And I was like, oh shit, we in the realm now. Like, I didn't even know what a realm was, but I knew because from church and what I was doing as spiritually in church, but I didn't know like a realm, right? I'm here, right? So everything just dissolved. So the whole night, right? This old dude with this fucking cart, homeless dude with this cart covered in just shit, raggedy clothes just coming past. And then you could hear it just reverberating, right? So somehow we ended up by the water and we ended up against the thing, right? This nigga, right, the reptilian, bruh, like, because he had disappeared. Like, he would fucking just disappear. This is weird because hanging out with him, he would disappear and then he'd come back and he'd look like him, but he'd look like a different him. It was weird. It was like he would just be like, it'd be him, but he'd be skinnier, smaller, bigger, wider. Like, it'd be like, wait, hold on, what the fuck happened? Right? So he come back, right? Everything's dark and in his world is depressing and shit like that. So he's manifesting that. I didn't know that though. So we're sitting there and then here comes my bro in Israel. He's like, "Hey, bro, I see you." And I'm like, "What do you mean you see me? Like, what do you mean?" He's like, "Bro, I see you, bro. You're old as fuck." And I'm like, "What does that mean? Like, what are you talking about?" He's like, "Hey, bro, stretch out your hand." And I stretch out my hand. He goes like this and shit. And I feel energy going down my arm. That's the first time I ever seen somebody put energy, like, to like feel it, right? And he put energy in my hand, and it like woke me up. Like, I was like, "Whoa, what the fuck?" But not only that, I was still, on the journey, on the shamanic journey, I was still tripping. So my arm, as he did it, my arm extended across like the lake. It was like I like elastic dude or whatever from Fantastic Four or some shit. Like, it just, across the lake. So he started talking to me. I look at this nigga. This nigga is a dragon. I'm like, "Whoa, you're like some black dragon dude. What the fuck are you? Whoa, hold on." So he started asking me, "Hey, bro, where's home?" So I'm like, "What do you mean, where's home?" He said, "Where's your home?" And he kept saying that the whole night. "Hey, bro, where's your home?" I'm just sitting there like, like, nigga, at the time I was homeless. So the shit manifested through both realities. Where's your home? And you're homeless, right? He didn't even know that at the time. So he's like, "Bro, where's your home?" So I start panicking, right? At some point, it got funny though, because this nigga next to me, the reptilian dude, was like, "Hey, bro," somebody walked past, they're like, "Hey, he's like, hey, you guys want, I think it was police. It was 2 police officers that walked past us. And we sitting there like this, just chilling on the ground in some fucked up weird place, right? Fucking, so half of us left, disappeared somewhere. Fucking my god brother, I'm trying to keep track of him because this is a wild nigga. Like, he wild. He's fun, he's upbeat, but he's wild. He don't really care. So I'm like, all right, where's he at? Because I don't want to lose him because I had to sleep at his house that night. So I'm like, I got a place to sleep tonight. Let me go here. So fucking police walk past and he's like, hey, you guys, the reptilian's like, hey, you guys want to smoke some weed? And the police just looked at us and kept walking. I was like, what the fuck? Right? So this dude comes, you're gonna bomb again. Like, but he only went one direction. Like, he never went back. It was like he was looping through reality. Like, he just kept, it was like it kept happening. Now that I think about it, right? It was like it kept happening. So he was like, hey, you guys got a cigarette? And then we were like, no, we ain't got a cigarette. And he's like, hey, remember to respect your elders. And then my fucking god brothers, I don't know, it was his spirit like came out of him. He was like, we are the elders. And I looked and we all looked like, the fuck are you talking about? Like, we are the elders. And I'm just like, I don't know what the fuck my nigga is saying right now, but that's my nigga. So fast forward, we end up losing him. So I'm like telling him, he kept telling me, I started panicking. I'm like, hey, bro, I want to go home. He's like, where's home? I'm like, bro, can you please just take me home? My spirit started panicking. I started feeling everything around me, like people's energy, depressing. It was just bad. It was fucking me up, right? I was just like, fuck. Like, I don't know what to do. I gotta go home. Like, I started panicking. I want to go home. I want to go home. I want to go home. Like, I'm panicking. I want to go home. I want to go home. And then he's like, bro, I'll take you home, but where is home? And the whole time I'm just like, I don't fucking know. Where is home? Like, we lose this nigga. We all roll a blunt, smoke, and then from the other people's perspective, this is just a bunch of people just walking in zigzag lines and all over the fucking place. And this is just smack dab in the middle of old downtown and shit. So it's like, and I could hear the dude hella far. He wasn't that far, but he was like, oh man, they smoke some bomb ass weed. Look at this shit. Like, and we just walking in all, it's fucked up. You ain't supposed to be in places like that doing this shit, right? So we find this nigga, hop in the car, this nigga yelling out the window and shit like this the whole time. I'm just like, all right, go home. They drop me off. These 2 niggas go somewhere else. I don't know what the hell they got. I end up finding out later what they end up going through or whatever. I try to get into his house. See if anybody was there. I knew somebody was there, but they would not let me in for some odd reason. So I'm coming down a little bit, right? And then I asked the neighbor, can I sleep in her car? Because she had like her car that she never moved and it was just sitting there. So I just so happened, and this is in the middle of like fucking Crackville. Like every house was like abandoned and it was fucked up. So I'm like, all right, let me sleep in your car. And she's like, yeah, you can sleep in my car. So I slept in there a little bit. I really wasn't asleep. I actually broke away from my body and went astral. And when I went astral, I went to fucking Shamballah. So I know it took a while to get there. I went to fucking Shamballah and I'm starting to hear more whispers and snakes and serpents and shit. Like, I'm like, what the fuck? I was actually judging him for being a reptilian. I found out that night that I was one. So I'm like, oh shit, I'm a fucking reptilian. And this voice, these serpents were like, you're the son of the serpent. This and this, and they started showing me lifetimes and cobras and me as a baby and what they did to me. And I used to get these headaches my whole life right here until I guess I healed it. It hasn't been happening a lot. But every time I go around him, because he killed me in a past life. This is what we ended up finding out. He ended up killing me many lifetimes. So I used to get headaches right here. So I started getting a headache right here. And then the spirits was talking to me. And I was just like, all right, fuck it. I'm just let go. Boom, I let go. All the information start coming. This is who you are. This is who you are. This and this. And I start hearing different languages and stuff like that. And then as I came down, I got out the car. I'm like, first of all, there was a dog inside the car. My god brother put a dog in the car. So I'm like, where the fuck did this? I wake up like, where the fuck this dog come from? And it's a big ass pit bull. So I'm like, there's a fucking dog in the car. I'm like, oh shit, it's this nigga dog that he borrowed for somebody or some shit. So I wake up, there's a fucking pit bull in the car. I'm like, oh shit. But it was symbolic though. It was symbolic because I'm from Sirius, the dog star. So it was a dog in the car though. It was trippy. So I get out the car, I'm like, all right, let me smoke a cigarette, smoke some weed, whoop de whoop. So as I'm coming down, I started seeing how reality worked. Like I seen everything for what it was from there on. Like the matrix broke. Like I was able to see what people really looked like their real true self. Reality got explained to me very, very, very detailed, and it becomes who I am. So I'm just sitting there, right, and dude comes up to this dope house right next to me. It's a crack house, literally like meth or whatever they in there. So dude come up, auntie. I like, bruh, we're all living out the same shit that we do when we go to bed or when we, you know what I'm saying? When our spirit goes. So, and I'm like, fuck, everybody forgot who they was. All of us is here, been here before, and everyone forgot who they was. They forgot who they was, and they just trying to get back there. Crackheads is smoking crack because they trying to get back to where they was. These motherfuckers all just, they, you know, that's the frequency that they tap into because each drug do a thing to higher consciousness, right? To your consciousness. This is why it's called high, you know, the different highs. So I'm sitting there like, all right, he called her auntie because that probably was his auntie in a past life. He come to her house every day and do dope with her or come ask her for something to eat when he hungry because that's who that was. And that's who that is in the spirit realm. So I'm like, oh shit, start clicking and clicking. And then I start seeing past lives of me and my brother. And I'm like, oh shit, what the fuck? Wait, hold on, nigga. Hey, when he came back, I was like, are we cousins? Like, I think we cousins. Do you have family here, and here? Come to find out, he was from Oakland and I was from Richmond. And we probably do got family in common. He's like, yeah, we probably got the same families in common. Like, we do, they closely are around each other. So I went to the Serpent realm. I went down there and it was just hella snakes. It looked like some Hindu temple type shit. Like it looked like Shambhallah, where everything was gold. And I sat there, and then they came and they put this crown on my head or whatever. I don't really talk too much about that. They put this thing on my head, and then they start telling me all this shit and stuff like that. And I was a reptile because I had looked at myself in the mirror and I seen like my eyes were black and my skin was scaly, and I was just like, this is what I really look like. This is what I really am. Scared shit out of me, but yeah, so we went down there, and you know, I continuously had going down there and stuff like that, and learned from these serpents and these reptilians and stuff like that. So back to the reptilian dude. So time moves forward, whatever, we do whoop. I end up getting my own place or whatever. Some shit end up happening with me and Dreama, and I guess, I don't know if it was like some type of possession. Pretty much I got the entity out of there. It literally turned out to be this nigga. Fast forward, I don't want to make it too long. It later turned out to be this nigga. So this nigga did some shit, I don't know, but I had to exercise fucking serpents out of my girlfriend's head. So I called him that night, right? Because I had like, we was already battling. Every time we went around him, we felt drained and shit like this. We started finding out a lot more information that I can't tell y'all. So every time he would come over, the whole atmosphere would change and just be drained. And I'm like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. Like, what the fuck? So I called him like, hey, bro, what did you do? Like, you know what I'm saying? I see what you did. Like, I seen all of it. What did you do? Oh, maybe like his darker self kicked in, his shadow self kicked in. And I heard his shadow self. And he was like, maybe you should be not going places where you don't belong and this. And I'm like, hold on, I thought we was friends. Like, what you mean? Okay. Click. So I get the download, right? I met my reptilian mother while I was down there. So my reptilian mother comes up and she's showing me about vampires. She's like, do you want to know about vampires? Right? In the serpent language and shit, right? Because I'm just tripped out. Like, we're just going through so many journeys. We're going through so many journeys. And so she started teaching me some magic, right? This is some weird shit. So he comes over, right? And I already seen everything that he was trying to do. So I'm like, he's trying to come over and sleep at my house so he can get more into my girlfriend's head. And I'm like this nigga was like a mind rapist. People can mind rape you. Like, they can really go inside your mind. Like, you can ask Dreamer, but she's not feeling too well. So, but whenever she wants to, she can confirm this. But people can do this. So this is what got me deeper into this field. But me and him started battling as being friends next to each other in daytime and fucking in astral. And when we went to sleep and we was around each other, fucking fighting. Like, fighting. So he comes over. I have some at the time, so here you go, brother. You know what I'm saying? Whoop, whoop, whoop. He's like, oh, I sure wish I had a place to sleep. At this time, my mind, I started being telepathic because I had started communicating with extraterrestrials more and serpents and stuff, and I started finding out more about who I am as Inky. So I already found out who I was and stuff, and I was there, and everything was kind of more on point. So I was hearing his thoughts of, I need to do this and 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 this. Here go Israel right now. I can invite him in if he wants, but so he comes over, whoop de whoop whoop. So I'm pretty much laying like mental tricks, but I don't know how this shit happened. Still don't know how this manifestation happened. So something's like, go in the bathroom. So I go in the bathroom, and I'm just sitting in the bathroom in complete darkness, and I'm just listening to what she's saying, whoop de whoop whoop, and this circle thingy shit appeared in front of me, under me, and I'm like, oh, what the fuck? Next thing you know, I get up, leave the bathroom. He's like, hey, bro, you mind if I use your restroom? And in my head, I can hear my spirit mom, the serpent mom, laughing. She's like, listen to this. Just watch. This is, and she's showing me like what they did to us, our people, and when we were aliens though. Like, we had a past life connection. So me and him had some past life connections. So he was like showing me, you know, this is what happened. This is what they did to your people. This and this and this and this and this. Like, I looked in the mirror, my eyes went just, and I had slits, and I was a reptile, and I felt anger to him. Like, ancestral anger. So I'm like, this is what you did? Like, I know what you did. Like, you feel me? And later on, I still expressed to him and made him aware of that. And it just didn't go too well. So he goes in the bathroom, right? And the fucking, and we sitting in the living room smoking, right? And you hear you hear the door in the bathroom rattling, like he's trying to get the fuck out of there. He's trying to get the fuck out the bathroom, right? Nigga, somehow the bathroom locked him from the inside. Like, he was like, because we didn't have no lock on our bathroom door. So it was just a regular door. Like, we didn't have no lock, you know. So he's trying to get out. He comes out like, and you can read his mind, like, what the fuck was that? What the fuck was that? Like, oh, nice trick. Like, you feel me? Okay. He was like, hey, he knew that I did it though. He was like, how'd you lock me in the bathroom? And I just stared at him and smiled. Right. So I'm getting him out of my house. You know what I'm saying? We sage the place. I go back to Shamballah, right? So I go back to Shamballah. I get called down there. And here I go to meet my mother, right? So the whole night I'm seeing snakes and shit and all kinds of shit going through dimensions and portals and shit. So I finally lay down. I go astral, right? I'm in Shamballah. So I go down there, right? And it's dark and shit. And I'm there and I'm a reptile, right? And all of a sudden these fucking reptilian creatures just start coming out of the fucking nowhere. Like, just right? So they just start coming around nowhere and they surround me. And I'm just sitting there like, because I'm a reptile, so everything's like slow reptilian like movement And I'm sensing them, I'm smelling them, I'm using my reptilian senses and stuff. And I'm like, this is family. And they tested me. They like, what's up? Like, you feel me? This is where I knew that niggas and nagas was the same thing. Niggas and nagas is the same thing. I don't care what you say. So they checking me like, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? You know what I'm saying? And they look and they like, then they say, Araka, which means king. Because I speak Serpent language, they say Arakuk Wagumbe. And it sounded like African damn near, for real. So he said Arakuk, and they all said it at once. And I said it back, Arakuk. You know what I'm saying? I am. And they all just started like doing some warrior dance and shit. And then serpents and shit come out, and then I'm like going down there, right? And I'm going down there, it's like a fucking reptilian party, like, and it's bad. Like they're reptiles, so they're eating shit, flesh and shit, and it's just bad. It's dark. And I go see the queen, right? Which I guess was my mom. So I go see the queen, and she's in like this snake pit. She looked like Medusa, but she had like reptilian face, human face, she could shapeshift. She was shapeshifting. All these motherfuckers are shapeshifting, shaking, and dipping in and out of reality. It's crazy. Like, I'm like, what the fuck, you know? But I was in that state of mind. I was vibing with it because that was my people, and I had been coming down there a while. So I finally make it to like the bottom, under it. Like under it. Because above Shamballah there's a lot of different beings, but under it, inside of it, like, it's all reptilians and serpents. So I'm inside there and shit, and I see her, and she starts talking to me, and she started giving me a download about self. She starts showing me my lifetimes, this and this and this, like all types of shit that I can't really detail. And then after that, pretty much they start giving me more crowns and more jewelry and shit like that, right? But she's like, you have to go on a quest. Because this is they have to test you. We have to test your knowledge. Even though this is who you are, we need to test you to see if you have the strength, if you are not fearful, if you are not these things, if you are a true warrior, right? So she says, go do this. So I go down to this place, I fight some beings and shit like that, and I go get what was mine, right? Or what I thought was mine. It ended up being some other shit. Started like a war and some crazy shit inside there with our own people. So I'm like, oh fuck, right? So I go down there, get the item, and then I go back to the top, and then they're like, there's this fucking golden cubit throne thingy, and I just sat there, and I was just like, all right, you know, I guess this is what I am. And so I got the download, I found out more about that, and then yeah, me and him just were at odds for ever since then. And then we finally just found out he was a vampire. So I knew he was a vampire the whole time. Me and him battling. I'm going to my fucking friend's house that he's vamping on, right? He's vamping on her hard. He damn near moved into her house. Like, this nigga damn near moved into her house. Like, and I'm like, hey, how does your grandmother feel about you having a shapeshifter living here? Like, we'd make jokes and shit. And the nigga would travel through mirrors and shit, all kinds of shit. It was crazy. It was crazy. It was crazy. I had some other dude that I worked with that was trying to tap into me. And he was like, bruh, I tried to tap because he was like, my third eye is certified. I'm a bruja. Whoop, whoop, whoop. I'm like, okay. And he's like, came back the next day like, hey, I tried to tap into you. I was blocked. He was like, I can only follow you so far. He was like, hey, did you see a car in your dreams? And I was like, yeah, this is how I knew that they had machines in the astral. He was like, yeah, I was that car. And I was like, what the fuck? And he popped up in my space. And you always see this big old bull minotaur dude. So we ended up fighting him, right? During our little travel, her Dreamer and the baby had went to sleep and shit. So I put them in a different space and whatever, right? So we end up battling and shit. We capture him, right? In my brother's room, right? So we capture this nigga. We in the house in different realms going around and shit. We capture this nigga in another room. You know what I'm saying? Slayed his ass. slayed him, right? The whole time I'm fucking battling this nigga, right? He vamping on fucking on our friend and shit. So I had it. So my girl was like, "You need to go bless that house. You need to get our friend out of that situation because it's just going too far." So I end up just telling her about it. Whoop whoop, right? Because there was times where me and this nigga would sleep in the car together, and we'd wake up with bruises and shit. Like we fought. Like I'm like, what the fuck were we fighting? Each other? We were fighting each other. So this nigga was real strong in astral, real strong. And he was telling me how he cast a spell on his ex-girlfriend's fucking. He was so this. That's Israel right now. I'm gonna call you in a second, Israel. So this nigga was so trying to create a link to me to drain me and just to do all shit. He tried to even make this girl make me have sex with this girl have sex with me, and I was like, no, I don't even like her. Like, dude, no, thank you. I don't get down like that, right? So it was all kinds of shit. Like he kept trying all kinds of shit. He would leave pipes at my house. Be careful what people leave at your house. Be careful what people bring into your house. Be careful who you let into your house, because you let these people in their space, they can wreak havoc in your life. Like this nigga touched somebody. He went over somebody's house and touched a dream catcher, and their kids was having nightmares. They've been having nightmares since, so it's bad. So we go over there, bless the house the whole time. This nigga fucking is running through the mirrors. Like I see him, right? So I'm like, bruh, I know. And he told us that he ended up being connected to a cult that was out here too. That was even crazier. That we was battling. I'm gonna tell you about how I was battling witches in another video too. So he ended up being a part of some cult or some shit, right? When he was like, I think like 12 years old or something, he touched some sigil in his grandma, who was a witch's house, right, in the basement, and it shocked the shit out of him. And he was, I guess, a vampire ever since or something. I don't know. So what was that? So yeah, we would wake up together and fucking have bruises, all kinds of shit. So this one night he's just traveling. Every time I seen him, right, and every time he would see us, he would ask us to wear our stuff. We would like, you don't let people wear your crystals. You don't share your crystals and stuff like that. These are your personal items. You should keep them really on yourself and not really let nobody who's not super, super close or like a family member touch them, because they can break your stuff. So like every time he would touch something, I would lose a crystal, I would lose a bracelet, I would lose some form of protection that I had, and he would touch it, or he would keep it and tap into it. Like he would, and then one time he was like, "You should really lock your crystals," and I'm like, "Lock my crystals? What the fuck you mean? Like lock my crystals? Like I didn't even know you could lock these motherfuckers, right? You guys can lock your crystals." So the whole day he's traveling through the mirrors and shit, doing all kinds of weird shit. We're sitting in the room, right? And we had before that, I had a vision of him like hella older with like fucked up skin, all fucked up, because I have met some more reptiles and vampire kind that they're usually pale and white and super super duper skinny, right? So yeah, and during this time we had stumbled on an investigation and ended up, like I said, fighting with some witches and stuff. So pretty much he's traveling through the mirrors and shit. He comes back from he's like, "Oh, I gotta go do something." Like he just did something. We walked from the store. The nigga walked backwards, like fucking with us, like messing with our heads, like ha 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 ha. So we were just like, all right, nigga, fuck this. So the whole time he's doing all his shit, I got my stuff and I'm moved throughout the whole house. I'm blessing the whole house. Like, hey, nah, fuck this, exercising this bitch out the house, right? This and this and this, right? He comes back and he looks like a whole different person. He looked like a vampire. His teeth is like, he looked like a reptile. And I'm like, whoa, who the fuck were you feeding on? And everybody just looked, because we all knew something was up with this nigga. So it was like, he looked, and everybody just started dying laughing and playing it off, right? So we sitting in the fucking in the room watching Gaia and shit. And we all silent. We all have telepathic communications at this point. We so fucking high consciousness, and we just sitting there all talking telepathically, whatever. I hear this nigga in his subconscious and shit, and I look over, nigga, and this nigga got his beads or whatever. And yeah, he used to have these beads, and he used to go like this to pull energy and shit from people, right? And the fucking screen and everyone's energy, he was pulling it, and I could see it, and I'm like, what the fuck? And then once he knew I seen it, he looked at me and made like this devious ass face, like you know what I'm saying? You see me, I see you. I pretty much don't give a fuck. So I'm like, all right, bro. And the whole time he's mentally poking at me, like he's just fucking with me, like he's just fucking with me, fucking with me, fucking with me, fucking with me, fucking with me. I'm like, bro, as soon as, bro, nigga, we go to sleep, it's on, like it's on pretty much. My brother looks at me, I'm sitting there just like shaking, like I'm vibrating, and I'm sitting there, my eyes are like slits, and I'm hissing at people and shit, like. He's like, hey, nigga, don't forget how, you know what I'm saying, how reptilian you are. Don't forget how crazy you are when you're a reptile. So I was like, I try to tone it down, right? So this nigga sitting there, all you see is this big ass dragon hand with a bowl of popcorn and shit in it and shit like that, right? So I'm sitting there communicating to him like, hey, don't eat nothing. Don't eat nothing. And he ended up eating the shit anyways, right? So fucking, because our other friend was under his spell. So he pretty much had like zombified her astrally and damn near physical, because he was in love with her. This is really weird. We thought it was just friends. Turned out he was in love with her and some other shit. Sorry, I won't mention nobody's names and shit. So it fucking so finally we get ready to go to sleep, right? We all end up having to stay the night. So I'm like, all right, nigga, I'm ready. I blessed the house, everything, cool. We go into the astral, right? Next thing you know, it's this Mayan temple, right? And me and my brother are guarding this Mayan temple, and I see like some Mortal Kombat shit where he was dressed up like some type of dragon reptile, and I was dressed like a serpent reptile, and we like shapeshifted and formed into like a yin yang symbol, right? So I see them coming into the temple and shit, look like they trying to come steal knowledge, pretty much, because we're guarding sacred knowledge. So they come to steal knowledge. Our other friend ended up getting eaten by my brother, and me and him, we ended up fucking him up. Like, I fucked him up bad. He woke up the next day, he had bruises and shit. Like, when you fight hard in the astral, you will have physical manifestation. So, had bruises and shit. Later, ended up finding out, like, this nigga, like I said, his family was from underground tunnels and shit like that out here. So, we ended up, like, having to get rid of him and cut him off, and that's pretty much the story. Like, you know what I'm saying? This nigga was a real reptile. He was like a real reptilian. He was a hybrid. He was like, yeah. So yeah, that's my story, guys. I don't want to keep y'all too long. I know I've probably been going on for a while, but that's my spiritual warfare story. We was going back and forth for a while. A while. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much Grandpa Inky's story time, or Prince Ia's story time. Just telling you about spiritual warfare and shit. Oh, and okay, after this, all right, it was an exorcism that needed to be done after this, because he had literally, we damn near fucking had to exorcise the dog. He implanted himself in the minds of people wherever he slept. So he would consciously like attack people in their dreams. So like the dog was all fucked up. Like you can look in the dog and see him. You can look at my friend. So my friend had the snakes in her head, because it's the same thing that happened to my wife, to dream it. There was a lot of snakes in thought forms in her head. And I had like engaged when I was doing her, pretty much her exorcism. When I pretty much did her, would that qualify as an exorcism? Not really. Not really. It was more like a mental battle, but like I came in, she was not really. She was on the ground and stuff, and like there were snakes in her head. And she looked at like days. All I know is like the higher self of me came down, and I got down like this, and I looked at her, and then I started speaking languages to it, and I don't know, it just ran out and shit like that. But he had actually damn near fully like mentally put himself in our friend, so we had to exorcise her out of her. And the whole time I'm trying to exorcise her out of there, it's like parts of him coming out. Like, and this is why I knew people could body hop. That people can jump inside you if you're not set up correctly. If your chakras are off, you're leaving openings for evil, as they say. But he had embedded himself in different chakras and different stuff like this. This is why you guys gotta watch who does subconscious work on you, who does spiritual work on you, who you let inside here. Because if they don't know what they're doing, or if they do know what they're doing, they might consciously just put some shit in there to you, and it's not right. It's not right at all. It's called implanting, all right, or attachments or parasites or whatever. So yeah, we had to exercise her out of there, exercise him out of her. And it took some time. Because he had multiple M's inside of there. So, thank guys. That was a pretty awesome story time, I guess. Thank you. So yeah, that's as much as I can say. What else? A physical one. This is short. I was working at security at this place, and this cat. That's why I call him this cat, right? It's the end of my shift, and this fucking cat dude, this cat, bro, he's sitting there rolling up weed right on the premises, and I'm in security, and usually I'm supposed to tell you to leave, but he just appeared, and I'm just like, what the fuck? So I go over there and talk to him, and I notice on his neck, on his wrist, he had tiger's eye. So he's telling me all this shit about, do you know this, and this, and this, and this. Next thing you know, we start talking about Lucifer. And he started talking about like the stars, and he started reading me. He was like, are you an Eastern Star? And this, and this, and this, and this. Moral of the story is I told the dude, we're going to have to, end it. I just got off shift. Like, nobody came and bothered me or whatever. And he just gave me a download about who I was. But as we're talking, he started telling me about Isa and about the real Jesus. Really, he was telling me my story about who I was in this lifetime. And he asked me something that he said, I'm going to ask you something that only somebody that was either there or him himself would know. What did Isa say when he went down to the water well in Ethiopia? And what did he say to his mother? And my soul took over, and I was like, I said, Mama, is the water good? The water here is good. We can drink it. And he was like, how the fuck did you know that? Like then his eyes shifted, and then his higher self kicked in, and he started telling me some other shit. And then I was like, all right, I gotta go. He was like, yeah, we'll see each other again. I was like, you know what? I walked like 5 feet away. Like the place is right here. Where I was going is like, where I was at was like right here. I turned around, you know what? Let me go smoke with this nigga some more. Let me go talk to him some more. Gone. Completely gone. He wasn't even, it's like he wasn't even there. He was completely gone. But people had physically seen me talking to this dude, though. I was like, hey, y'all seen me? He was like, yeah, but, you know what I'm saying? People physically seen me talking to dude. Like, crazy stories. So, yeah, hit me up, guys, for whatever you guys need. I'm going to go ahead and call my brother, see what's going on. And, yeah, thank y'all for watching my little story time. It's been awesome. That's a little bit about spiritual warfare. Sorry I couldn't go too deep into detail. Sorry if I ran over a little bit. But, this is just chilling, smoking, meditation. And that was another motherfucking story time. All right, so we're going to get the music outro. Or fucking outro. I can't find the other phone. So, peace, guys.